Welcome to my channel. My name is Dexii if you're new here, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much for subscribing. So today we're going to be making some shea and oats body butter, and I'm also going to do an entrepreneurship series. So this is part of my entrepreneurship series. So for this series, I'm going to be making butters, soaps, and sugar scrubs, and I'm also going to be telling you a little bit about my entrepreneurship journey. So stay tuned for that. So here I'm just measuring out my butter, and I'm using unrefined shea butter. So after I'm finished measuring it, I'm going to be melting it down using the double boiler system. If you don't know what that is, that's basically when you put a pot of water on the stove and put your bowl with the shea butter over it and let it melt down until it gets to an oil. And now I'm just measuring out my oils that I'm going to be mixing with the melted shea butter. So I'm going to let the shea butter melt first, and then after I'm going to add my oils. So here it is, my shea butter is melted, and I'm just going to add the oils that I measured out earlier and just mix it around really well and let it sit in the freezer for about 30 to 40 minutes. You don't want to let it sit for too long because you don't want it to over freeze. So yeah, I'm just mixing it up, and I'm going to just let it sit for a little, and I'm going to be right back. I also have another step-by-step video on how to make body butters, so go and watch that video. So I mentioned this before, but I'm going to be relaunching my business very soon, so follow me on Instagram if you're not. It's prissbodycollection, and it's going to be on the screen for you. So this is the consistency that you need it to be when you take it out the freezer. I'm going to show you a better view of how it's supposed to be. Here it is. So you don't want it to be too hard, but you don't want it to be too soft, because if it's too hard, it's going to be very hard to whip, and you don't want that. So you need it to be like in between. So I'm going to slowly put my mixer up to the highest. So I'm going to start from 1 and slowly put it up until it gets to the highest. So I'm going to let that whip for about 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes I'm going to come back and scrape down the sides and add my arrowroot powder. So after about 10 minutes of whipping, I came back to scrape down the sides of the bowl to make sure that everything is being whipped properly. Now I'm going to put my mixer back on high and whip it for about 10 more minutes, and then add my arrowroot powder. So after about 10 minutes, I'm gonna be adding the arrowroot powder, and the arrowroot powder is basically so that the oils and the butter wouldn't feel too greasy on your skin. So that's just an option if you don't like the greasy feel. Also, when you add your arrowroot powder, that will be the time to add your fragrance oil and your color. So now I'm whipping it for about 10 more minutes, and that will be the end of the whipping process. So you want to scrape down the sides of the bowl one more time just to make sure that everything is being whipped properly. Now I'm going to whip it again for about 3 to 5 more minutes, and that will be the end of the whipping process. Okay, so this is the end of the whipping process, and do you see how creamy this butter looks? Like, it's so creamy and it feels so good. Oh my god, you don't even understand. Like, the video don't do justice. This butter will be up on my website very soon, and it's mostly for people that has sensitive skin. That's why I didn't add any color or any fragrance, because I wanted to keep it very basic for people that have sensitive skin. So you know I gotta test it out for y'all to see how it is. So I'm just gonna put it on my hand for y'all to see the consistency and the creaminess. Do you see that? And let me tell you, it melts right into your skin and it feels so good. So that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something, and go follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching again. See you in the next one. Bye.